When someone was dying in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, a Lama or other Buddhist practitioner would read aloud the sacred instructions for hearing after death. The text was chanted whether the dying person was conscious or not. It was directed to the awareness that would be alive after death. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, which is the real title of it, is Liberation Through Hearing After Death. In a sense, that same thing was Jung was interested in, the survival of consciousness after death. And the Tibetan Book of the Dead has this powerful message that death is not to be feared, but is an opportunity for a great opportunity for evolution. So what I did was I created a text which I was able to communicate with people who were dying when they were awake. So the situation was a number of people, again with the support of the families. These are all people that were home. The one person was in a hospice, and we did that with headphones. But the people said that they were willing to hear this text repeated, and that it would be the text that was essentially my version of what was being said in Western psychological language with the Tibetan Book of the Dead. So in this was really quite wonderful, because it's very faithful to the Tibetan knowledge. I am not saying this sacred, what they call sacred instruction. These are the sacred instructions which are read to the person in the dying process to tell them they will be able to hear after death. So this was used in Southern Oregon in a number of cases, and so they heard this play. And in the tradition in Tibet, when a person was dying, they would be lying in bed for long periods of time. Sometimes they would be conscious, mostly they would be unconscious most of the time. But whether they were conscious or unconscious, the Lama would read again and again this in Tibetan chanting. And so you will come to the death of your physical body, your time to enter a new state of being. Let's make an offering of music, awakened music, and let's hear the sacred instructions called Liberation Through Hearing After Death. During the time of life in this human body, few people succeed in waking up. In physical death and in states after that, we have chance after chance to come alive. This is what ancient wisdom is saying. Before and after death, listen to the sacred instructions. We have the chance to awaken again and again after death. After physical death, we're much more clairvoyant, more in touch with light. After death, we have great understanding and knowing. After we die, we can read the mind of a living person. We can hear telepathically, understanding the meaning of a text read to us, even if we've never heard the language before. The ancient wisdom says that in states after death, the mental body has the faculties of the sense body. We're told that we can see and hear intently after death. We can be invoked to hear and realize the wisdom teachings. But just as intensely our mind projects and interferes, the great challenge after death is to recognize mind, to be much more aware. So prepare to be awake as your body dies, awake in death. Recognize mind. Be ready to receive all-knowing teachings. Be ready to be sane and free. So now, at whatever moment of your life, you can use teaching on how to recognize mind and how to act for the benefit of all life, especially when we're close to the time of death, in order to prepare for the intensity of being disembodied, or if we are now in an after-death state. Hear the music and the voice of the wisdom teachings. Hear and become liberated for the benefit of all life. I'm Robert Bruce Newman. For more information about my work and my books, please visit medigrace.org and calmbirth.org.